Morning, Mohit. So, my great pleasure to introduce Mohit to you all. And Mohit's got a very interesting topic about take time. So, I think we can all learn a little bit about that. So, we'll be listening very intently to hear how we can use time to the best of our ability. Thank you.
Thank you, Sally, and a very good morning to everyone. Today, let's explore this interesting aspect of our life and very important and critical aspect of our life called time. We, as human beings, as living beings, have a very intimate relationship with this thing called time. So let's explore what that relationship is and how we can keep it healthy and make it a nice relationship. So the recent happenings in the world have come to teach us something, is my humble opinion. In spite of our desire and need, we are unable to do certain things. There are restrictions in the world currently in being able to move around or travel, especially outside your country. And in some places, the pandemic has resulted in closures or lockdowns and curfews where people are basically just, locked down with themselves. And this is where our relationship with time really comes to the forefront. So pre-corona days, I don't know what your lives were like, but there's a general tendency in the world to try and cram a lot more into our daily timetable. We've tried to pack more and more into our lives. Somehow subtly believing that more is better, and that more is a need. But what life recently has, presented to us, has proven to us, is that simple is better, less is better. In our obsession to do more and more in less and less time, we really put pressure on lots of things. Put pressure on ourselves, our mental well-being, our physical well-being. We put pressure on the environment, on nature. Our relationship with natural resources is not one of not a very healthy one, because again, in our obsession to create more, to manufacture more, we have exploited more. Um, Also, to be able to bring back equilibrium in our relationship with the elements, with nature, with people, with ourselves. Time is the critical element. As I was saying, and I'm sure you'll relate to this, with not being able to do some of the things that we were doing at very fast paces in our lives pre-corona, just physically not being able to do them internally, is what's happened is, in a way, we've kind of started to relax a bit. We've started to slow down a bit, whether by choice or whether to our liking or not. It's happened. It's happening, and it'll be a matter of time where before things will start to open up again, and things will want to go back to normal, whatever that new normal might be. But this is a good time to kind of reflect as to what are the things that we want to go back to the pre-corona type levels of activity, and where we would like to make some change. And in my humble opinion, time is one thing. Our relationship with time is something that we need to re-engineer, because what's happened is, as I was saying earlier, in a desire or a drive to do more, to achieve more, to experience more, to go to more places, we've really compressed so many things in shorter spaces of time. So what that does is, you are tasting, experiencing, living a lot more in a much less time. You're consuming a lot more in a much less time. So are we really, enjoying that consumption, that experience? Because it's a very compressed experience. So the same thing, if we realize that, allow equilibrium to return into our lives, take time over experiencing whatever we desire to experience, and giving it time, not to have this subtle kind of um, sword hanging over our heads that we have to do. So in that doing consciousness, we've somewhere come to stop being. And a healthy relationship with time is all about being, is to be in harmony with time, be in equilibrium with time. I use the analogy of a rubber band. The rubber band, when there's no pressure on it, it's in a relaxed state, and it's relatively small. If you put pressure on two ends of it and stretch it, it's able to be stretched, but able to be stretched comfortably to a certain extent. And then it's even able to be stretched beyond its comfort, and you can keep stretching it, but there is a limit. At one point, and at one point of stress, it will snap. But if you remove the pressure, it will want to come back to equilibrium, to its original state. And this is what we have seen, that nature, the elements, through the lockdown, through the curfews, and inability to travel, and manufacture and export, and you know the elements have had this chance to kind of, they feel the pressure being let off them, and this chance to come back to equilibrium or close to equilibrium. And we are seeing cases where river waters have become clearer, cleaner, or pure. Air qualities have improved in various places. These are just results of us stopping to cram things into our time, and slowing down. So what is the learning from this, and what is it that I want to carry to our, new future? Um, I think the biggest learning is being conscious of time and being, not obsessed with cramming things into time, but rather enjoying quality time. It's a it's a it's a phrase that we use quite loosely sometimes, like I need to spend quality time with my loved ones, with my friends. And if you look at that a little bit deeper, what does it mean to spend quality time? To spend quality time means to be present fully in the moment, in the now, in the presence of the people that I wish to spend quality time with. When my attention, my full attention is given to the moment and to the surroundings and to the relationships being experienced in that moment. So taking time means, coming back into time, which is now, because a lot of our thinking is dwelling in the past, or it's being drawn into the future, worry about the future, uncertainty, concern, etc. And what that does is when we are, living in the past or worrying about the future, we're missing out on our present. And in English, the word present also has another meaning, which is a gift. So it's a gift to us that we are, you know, unknowingly, unconsciously missing out on, squandering away. So when we learn to take time to do things, take time to just be, there's this saying that, slow down and smell the roses. When you're walking in a beautiful garden on a garden path, don't miss out on the scenery that you're passing through. Go travel slowly so that you have time to appreciate and smell the roses, because life presents lots of lovely experiences that we miss out on because of our speed, internal speed, and again that desire to cram more and more. So this kind of this subtle hankering for more is what we need to kind of let go, because more doesn't mean better. In fact, it's quite the opposite. If we do less, we will remember what we did. We will, because we would have spent more time doing it. We would have spent more time experiencing it. This is what it means to take time. So whatever it might be, whether it's time to think, even reflect, meditate, because our thoughts are also a very powerful resource that we have. And if we don't take time to create good quality thoughts, to enjoy the this very aspect of our human of our being, which is the ability to think. So we can either just do mundane thinking, or we can even do some quality or elevated thinking, which will bring an elevated experience. Because as I'm thinking is as I'm feeling. When I'm thinking negative thoughts or I'm thinking angry thoughts, I'm feeling negative and I'm feeling angry. But on the contrary, when I'm thinking positive thoughts, I'm thinking peaceful thoughts and happy thoughts, I'm feeling happy, peaceful, and positive. So to be able to give time to my thoughts, take time to think, take time to reflect on how I'm thinking, what am I thinking, what is it that I want to feel in my life. Accordingly, my thoughts have to, corroborate to the result I want. Um, and other simple things in life, take time to laugh, to be a child again, to be simple in our, to not to overcomplicate things, because the ability to be able to laugh is when we are fairly simple in there and not, knotted up. And this knotted up condition is a bit like that stretched rubber band, when we try to cram in too much of thinking, too much of, you know, busyness. And so somewhere, there's a like a move from us being human beings to human doings. So again, take time to laugh, to smell the roses, to even breathe deeply. Enjoying breath. Now, this is one thing that we cannot cram. We can't cram all the breaths we will take in the course of our life in, say, 1 hour and experience our whole life and say, let's do it quickly. I want to watch this movie quickly. I want to get to the end quickly. No, there is physical limitations on how much you can breathe. And also we have to continuously keep breathing to stay alive. So we give time to breathe, or we don't give it involuntarily. Our breath takes time. We breathe only so much at a time. The same way, taking time to be, to breathe, to relax, to love, to be happy, to laugh, to smile, to smell. These are things we somewhere along the line have forgotten to enjoy. Just the aspect of sort of being in an experience of love, being able to love and being able to experience love in return. These simple human emotions we have lost touch with. Why? Because we have lost, we our relationship with time has become complicated. We've stopped giving time to basic things and simple things in life. So I guess my message today is, let's, whatever's happened has happened. It has taught us precious lessons in life. But from now, from today on, from this very moment, let me let me invest in my relationship with time. Let me make it a constant companion. Let me make it a friend. That's by my side all the time, rather than losing touch with time or losing contact with time. So to take time to do things that I like to do, to do things that give me joy. Ultimately, what is the experience? What is the expectation everyone has from life today? We as human beings, we want to be peaceful, we want to be happy, we want to be loving, and we want to be loved. So let's bring back the relationship with time so that we can once again experience these things, because time is very precious, and sometimes we do regret having wasted time, especially if you ask somebody who's on their deathbed maybe, or who has very little time remaining to live this life, and if we do some you know chit chat with them, or some Q&A with them, we will very quickly realize that one of the biggest regrets humans have at the closure time of their lives, is that they didn't give time to a particular aspect of their life. They didn't value time. They didn't, have a healthy relationship with time. Because time is that resource. If we treat it well, it will treat us well. And it is all about traveling through life in a slow, gentle, holistic, sustainable manner. So that no matter where we are, no matter what the situation is, in here we are, healthily relating to time. We're taking time for the important things in life. I hope this is, resonating with you. It's making sense. Let's look a little bit deeper into the aspect of taking time to think. Our senior yogi, Dadi Janki, who recently left us, she was 104 years old, and it was one of her mantras that, don't just do mindless thinking. Think even before you think. In other words, be conscious, be cautious of what you're giving energy to in your mind. What are you about to think? Is that going to lead you to a better experience in life? Is that going to lead you to an experience of love, peace, and happiness? Or is it going to bring bitterness, sorrow, peacelessness, etc.? So thinking even before thinking, imagine, is that something that we wouldn't even have pondered on, like, because sometimes we think that our thinking is automatic. We are an autopilot, that thinking is something that happens to me. I am not a creator of my thoughts. It's just I am a victim of my thoughts. This is a result of us not having a good relationship with time. When we cram so much in our lives, then our thoughts are, in autopilot. And a lot of our thinking is triggered by external influences. I'll see something and I start thinking about, something related to that, or a person that I like or dislike. Again, I see them and a train of thought starts triggered by that. So a lot of our thinking is triggered by external influences, often coming into us through one of our sense organs. We see something, we smell something, and that triggers a memory, or we hear something. So a lot of our thinking is not our direct creation. But when we start to take time to think, I start to become a creator of my thoughts. Because I'm very clear what experience I desire in life. So if I desire a peaceful and a happy experience in life, then I need to create peaceful and happy thoughts. So before even I start to create a thought, I have to check. And this internal checking is done by one of our, faculties called the intellect. It's the intellect's job to decide, or, to filter or keep quality check on our thinking. Because everything we think, we don't actually put into words and actions, do we? And thank God for that, because some of our thinking is not worth, speaking about or putting into action. So what is it that filters? What is it that creates this gap? This is that, that faculty of ours called intellect, which is also referred to as our conscience. So when we give time to our conscience, when we allow it to step in and do this checking of the nature of the quality of my thoughts, to do this internal sifting, is this really important? Is this necessary, or is this just unnecessary thoughts that are just going to create static in my mind, just going to take up space in my mind, and more importantly, waste my time? So thinking even before thinking is giving time to my thoughts. And the other aspect is also giving time to what I want to feed to my sense organs. So again, this judicial checking about what is it that I want to watch? What is it that I want to read? You know, there is so much of inspirational reading available to us. So am I taking time to do that, or and I'm just a sponge soaking up, stuff that gets put out, gets thrown at me by media, by consumerism, by advertising, etc. So again, being conscious, taking time to think, taking time to see what I wish to consume in in the sense of what I want to allow into my mind. Because what goes into my mind doesn't just vanish down some deep hole and it's gone. No, everything I consume through my sense organs will trigger some thinking, and that thinking will leave an impression. It will it will affect my being. You know, it will some at some stage or the other affect my mood, affect my thinking. So becoming conscious about what I'm consuming through my sense organs and regaining sovereignty or rulership over my own creation, over my own mind, so that I am actively creating more thoughts than are being triggered by the external. So I am more in control of my thoughts, because ultimately, as I think is how I'm going to feel. And so back to that formula, if I wish to feel a certain way in life, then I need to think, you know, in a corresponding way. So taking time for this, and again becoming conscious of how we think, how much of our thinking is good, etc., is dependent on how much time we give to our thinking. So reflecting, spending some time in meditation is very important, because what happens there is, this the external pressures on the rubber band are released, and it's in the process of coming back close to equilibrium. That's when, because we have slowed down internally, we are able to see, how my thoughts are they healthy, are my emotions healthy, am I experiencing in life what I wish to experience, which is, all the healthy things like happiness, peace, love, joy, etc. So this relationship with time, if we give it time as well, it's going to serve us well. But if we don't respect time, then we will be deceived at some stage or the other, or we will continually be leading a life experience which is not so enjoyable. So again, back to the essence of the topic, taking time, internally slowing down, physically slowing down, you know, um, don't let things build up, breathe, you know, let go, steam, don't let stuff build up, so that, we build up steam like a pressure cooker, and then when the pressure gets beyond manageable, and then there is a explosion. So avoid all of that. Give time to the very basics in our life, which are, to be happy, to be slow, smell the roses, spend quality time with people, love, enjoy being loved in return, and, you know practice equilibrium, harmony with time.
Uh,
Okay.
Thank you, Mohit Baiji. That was very wise and relation with the time. Never thought about before. And because many things we get takes very granted, and time also one of that. But one of our viewer is asking, you're talking about the relation with time, take time to yourself for think, but how to handle family member rejection, how to make peace when they cut you off. Uh, so some thoughts on that.
Okay. So people will be people. They will behave as they will behave. We have very limited kind of control over um, external situations, which also includes the behavior and the thinking and reactions of people. What we need to work on is to build internal immunity. And this is spiritual immunity, where internally my thinking, my mental faculties have become so strong that I don't get affected by the external situations. Very similar to a medical practitioner, a doctor, or a nurse. And again, using the example of the pandemic, if the immunity of these people at the forefront was low, they would get affected first. They would fall sick. But that doesn't happen. Why? Because they carry a good level of immunity, and that's when they are in the midst of diseased environment, diseased atmosphere. interacting with people who are diseased. People who come to the hospital are either carrying the virus or are showing symptoms of the virus. So clearly they're not in a healthy situation. But medical professionals deal with those people. Why? Because internally they're carrying strength, they're carrying immunity, they're carrying protection. And so through the process of reflection, meditation, I really need to, fortify my thinking so that people will be people, but my response to their actions will be, better. It will not leave a scar on me. Their actions will not affect me because internally I have learned the ability to respond, the ability to, accommodate differences of opinion, uh, internal resilience. So I hope this makes sense, but it's not about trying to control others. It's not about expecting that if others change, then my life will be better, my life will be more peaceful, more happy. No, we need to learn to be happy, to be peaceful, immaterial of what's around us. And people we live with, relatives, friends, they are our biggest teachers. So they will be them, but what is it that I have to learn? Where are my buttons that they are able to press? So why have we given our buttons in their hands? We need to reclaim these buttons and become basically, you know, buttonless or influence proof. But that will happen only through a process of, reclaiming time, reclaiming power in our thoughts. And it's by giving time to the right thing. Also, their behavior will trigger some wasteful thinking in our minds. They shouldn't be like that. Why are they always like this? No. Again, what is it doing? It's depleting me here. It's taking up time and thoughts and wasting energy here. So when I'm thinking before even I'm thinking, I will not go down those trains of thought, and I will, instead continue on with empowered thinking, powerful thinking, which will keep me healthy and my immunity, my spiritual immunity up. So hopefully that answers your question. Any more?
Uh, Definitely, I think she's very happy with that. She said, "Yes, it is. It does reply of your answer." And thank you, Mohit Bhai, uh, for your answer. So thank you.
So once again, my message is very simple. Whatever you give time to, you are giving it attention, you are giving it energy, you are giving it space, that will grow. So be careful of what you give time to. What is it that you want to grow in your life? That's my takeaway message from today. Yes, sure. So we will close now with a meditation. I will speak a few meditation words. So I request all of you to get very comfortable in your chairs and just follow my words with your mind. You can keep your eyes open or you can close them, whatever you wish. But do try and follow. Do give time to following my words with your mind. And if you find that your mind's wandering off somewhere else, very gently bring it back, saying that I'm making now. This is time for myself now. I'm making time for me. Okay, so we'll go for about 5-7 minutes. So, firstly, relax the body. Make sure you're not holding any tension in any part of the body. Just let it become loose, starting at your feet. Just let them go, let them dissolve. Your legs, your stomach. Don't hold any tension. Just let it all relax. Your arms, your chest. Continue deep breathing. With every breath, relax more and more. Relax your shoulders, your neck, your facial muscles, and concentrate all your energy in the center of your forehead. On the screen of your mind, visualize yourself as a relaxed person, as a person who has made time their friend. I don't need to hurry. I can travel through life slowly and gently. I don't need to worry. Worry is just a wrong creation of my wrong relationship with time. I am now at ease with time. I neither pressure time nor do I feel its pressure. I'm in harmony with time. It's my choice where I wish to give my time, for what important things I wish to take time, not hurry through them, but quality time. The very first aspect is breathing. Take time to breathe, smiling. Take time to smile and be happy. Take time to observe my inner world as well. Observe my thinking. What do I think more about? And what does this thinking result in? Am I happy with the result? Make time to think. Think quality. No matter where life takes us, let me travel slowly on the inside, taking time to smell the roses on the path, taking time to keeping me safe from the thorns, taking time to be loving. When I give out love, that love comes back to me. powerful thought. Give this thought some time, regularly, time and again. It's just two words: Om Shanti. I am peace. In other words, I'm a being of peace. Give this thought time in your mind. Give it space. Give it attention. I am peace. And watch peace grow in your life. Om Shanti. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mohish. That was so beautiful, wasn't it? And so many things to consider. And I think slowing down and taking time for the things we love, it's a very good reminder to us all. And Mohit lives his talk. He actually is like that all the time. He thinks very carefully, doesn't waste his time, and we're lucky to have him here. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Sally. It's a pleasure being here. And thanks for the opportunity to be able to share these thoughts with everyone.
Yes,
Thank you.
probably the most valuable thing is really to take care of the time we spend and to spend it doing things that, like Mohit said, when it's our last few moments, we can say, yes, I lived the life I wanted to live, not rush, 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 rush and miss out on all the beautiful things.
So let's hope post-corona we will be all slower and more conscious of time. Because that would be a very good learning from this situation for all of us.
Thank you.
Thank you.